At the same moment in the minister's house, Vincent, after a brief meeting with the ant, as agreed with his father, ran to the minister, telling him about the problem that had appeared. That is why at the moment, having explained everything that happened, he is kneeling in front of the minister, hiding his gaze. From such a story, the man was shocked, even more angry. What? How could this have happened? Out of frustration, he hit the armrest of his chair hard. His large eyebrows as well as his tense posture expressed all his bewilderment. It's just unbelievable. As soon as this woman dared to reject a gentleman like me, so at the same time, she just took her sister and just ran away. I had mercy on them and bought them both. And Vincent had to listen to all this, although it's not his fault that they ran away. Still, I need to explain myself to him completely. She didn't just run away. Before she left, she took a lot of things from our storage. More precisely, she knitted everything that was. But this man wasn't listening to me at all. It's just unforgivable. Am I really so bad looking that even a slave like her ran away from me? He thinks completely of his own. The problem is not that she ran away. She looted our entire treasury. It should be taken into account that when that woman left with all the loot, it was already evening. And just during this period of time we managed to close the entrance to the city so that no one could get out. So she is most likely in the city right now and hiding with all her might. And in order to avoid a leak, we need to completely close the entrance to the city without the possibility of anyone leaving from here. Then we will definitely be able to find her, and she will not have time to escape. I need to convince him. He must help us, otherwise we will lose all the accumulated possessions for a long time. Good. He agreed to help us. That's already half the battle. But I'm only giving you 3 days. So guys, don't upset me. He says it with a cruel, clingy look. I think you know what will happen if you don't meet my expectations. The consequences will be painful. We have won his favor, so he gave us some time to solve this situation. We need to have time to do everything. Otherwise we will end up like whipping dogs. I understand you, Minister. Thanks for everything. Time is short, so you need to collect all possible resources and rush to find them. So I gathered all the people who were offered to us to search, and we all rushed to view the territory of the city. In general, there are about 10 or 15 of us, that's if not counting animals. I also went with them to track the completion of the task. In our search, we took a white wolfhound of the first category of the 2nd level and a white wolfhound of the first category of the 4th level. They can smell well, so they will definitely help us in our search. The night passed and morning came. I managed to get back from the base by dawn, and everyone didn't notice that I was disappearing from the room. We settled down in the dining room. I was dragged out for breakfast, and the girl sitting next to me wouldn't let up, and she was constantly sticking to me. Why can't she leave me alone? I just want to eat. Oh, I have a taste of fruit. Taste it very well. Deciding not to wait for my answer, she just started bringing a spoonful of food to my mouth. Come on, open your mouth. Since there is no point in this, I calmly accepted the spoon handed to me and ate what was offered. Why did she touch me? Let him get off already. It's annoying. Well, what does it taste like? She asked me with the sweetest smile. How she got? More or less. There's nothing so special about it. I answer her without a single emotion. The girl who was watching all this was a little surprised by what happened. When did they have such a good relationship? She said it out loud. It's just a performance. Don't be too surprised. And in the thoughts of the girl feeding me, judging by her face, a complete mess is going on. You're just some kind of demonic being, and I will be the one who will tame you. Then you will have no choice but to be a cute and fluffy animal. You will have to listen to me, and you will do everything I tell you. So I'm going to make you accompany me to the qualifying exam anyway. Whatever I need to do for this. She's definitely thinking about something strange. Well, look at you. My interlocutor keeps telling me. You're so obedient now. He's definitely mocking me. Well, okay, but I'm eating calmly. Come here. She beckons me to her outstretched hand with a spoon. I'll let you try again. You still seem to like it. I calmly ate what was offered. I don't really have anywhere to go. While I was chewing food, I could hear some kind of shuffling in the corridor, and another girl with golden hair appeared from behind the opening with a baby bird in her hands. Immediately, as soon as she appeared in front of her eyes, she began to chatter something. Yutong, Yutong, she kept repeating. I have great news for you. You will definitely like it. I didn't understand at all what the girl who had just come was talking about. What are you so happy about? Something happened. The girl sitting next to her also did not understand the reason for her friend's mood. You'll never guess. Imagine I woke up in the morning as usual, and suddenly I decided to check the characteristics of my chick, and it turns out that he already has the 9th level. It's just unbelievable. Well, this is very understandable. No matter how you look at it, he has already fully recovered, and raising the level is just a little gift. But didn't he have 7 levels before? This is something new. My neighbor was surprised. The girl examined him more carefully, as if trying to catch something with her eyes. Yes, if you check, then he really is already level 9. Although you can't tell right away. How could he surpass this bar? 7. Zheng Lan. My neighbor addresses me. QQ was with you last night. Maybe you found out something. Oh, no, I fell asleep right after you left, so I don't know anything either. They don't need to know that I go to the base. It's none of their business. Then the chick decided to contact me directly. Hey, my brother Ant, thanks for helping me level up. You're a complete fool, or the recovery has knocked your brains out. Damn it, don't talk to me. This raises very big suspicions. God, I want to disappear right now. The girls are looking at me wisely, not understanding what's going on and what the chick is talking about. But he keeps talking. You'll still be my best brother in the future. I swear to you. Why are you so surprised? I ask her, looking at her reproachfully. It's just raising 2 levels. It shouldn't shock you so much. At first I didn't have a level at all, but she just looked at me with cold eyes. It's actually not as easy as you say. I had to spend 7 or 8 years just to reach the first order of the 3rd level. Something doesn't add up here, the girl thought. Then how did he transform from a small flimsy ant into a demonic beast of the 1st order? Of course, I can't find out directly about his level, but that doesn't mean that his level is higher than mine. But what did he actually do? There are several options, but the best one is herbs. He could consume herbs with astonishingly great effect. But can such grass turn into a demonic beast? We can't be completely sure about that. Yes, who has no levels at all? After all this mental process, she abruptly turned to the ant. Why is she looking at me like that? This guy seems to be hiding something from me. I'm sure of it. She's burning a hole in me. Looks like I'm being suspected. Pancake. So we urgently need to get out of this strange situation. If I can't translate the topic, then I can just walk away from the conversation. This is the best solution. So I pushed back my chair and got up from the table. I'm full and won't fit in me anymore. And since I was also completely cured, I went about my very important business. Bye. Maybe it was weird, but that was all I could do before they started asking me about things they didn't need to know. Knowing this, I still feel awkward. The chick realized that I was going to leave, so he gathered with me. Hey, my friend Ant, wait for me. I'll go with you. But I refused his company. Don't follow me. I'm going alone. I have a very important and urgent matter. So fly back to the girls. So I went to the exit of the house. But the chick wasn't even going to listen to his friend. And the girls looked at all this and were surprised. This is too suspicious, they both thought. As soon as the bird and I had already managed to go outside, I was already bombarded with questions. Mr. Ant, why are you ignoring me? I'm not even doing anything. Listen to me. I need to explain everything to him, otherwise he will continue to chat next to me. After all this, we'd better not talk in front of these two. Remember, you can't talk in front of Yu Tong and her gang. I hope you heard me. And imagine what would happen if they found things from the base. It would be very troublesome to explain everything to them without telling the truth. Come on, this would not have happened in any way. So relax, I'll keep it all a secret. They won't even know anything. Good, be so kind to keep an eye on everything. By the time they finished the conversation, the woman he recently saw in the room where they were having breakfast comes out of the building. She is heading somewhere with a cart, but she came out of a completely different room. Hey brother, I turned to my interlocutor, attracting his attention. And who lives in this room? This woman just came out of there. What was she doing there at all? This is Ball's room. Recently there was an explosion due to one unfulfilled contract, and since then he has been staying in this room to recover from his wound. He's a little nasty. He is exactly the one who intimidates me with a high level. In short, a second-rate jerk. He's not worth your attention. Why his name is Ball? Does it look like a ball? Well, since your name is Egg and you got out of the egg, then did he get out of the ball? Oh, so he's a demonic beast of the 2nd level. I definitely have to take a look at it. I've never heard of such a thing before and certainly haven't seen it. It also looks like it was about him that Yu Tong was talking about in the hallway with her friend when I just woke up. Well, the best option to check who is there is to go and check for yourself what is happening there. Well, it's time to pay a visit to someone, I said, imagining who might be inside. After completing this conversation, I went straight to the door from which the girl with blonde hair had recently come out. I was able to safely go inside without any obstacles. As soon as I walked a little further than the entrance, I began to quickly inspect the room, turning my head in all directions. Suddenly, at the end of the room, I noticed some big shadow from the animal. He was standing with his back to me, so I could not fully see him. It turned out to be exactly the Ball, a fighting leopard of the 2nd order of the 3rd level. And as you could see by the bucket of meat next to him, he was eating. He had quite a frightening aura. As if a little more and he will also devour me like this meat in a bucket. And he is very strong, even the 2nd order. Now it is understood how he could intimidate my bro and get away with it. It's annoying. A little later I was able to get a better look at it. Mostly his body is covered with dark fur, but near the mouth it turns into light gray. He has huge fangs and some strange markings on his face. It doesn't look like scars. He sits calmly and chews a piece of meat, but he still exudes strength. At this moment, Ball finishes chewing a piece and swallows it. I was able to quickly run out into the street before he noticed me. And just then he turns around a little and says, "I have a feeling that there are a lot of people standing behind me right now." Strange. Well, okay, something else is strange. Yutong hasn't visited me in a few days, maybe even more. So the meat that was brought to me is very rough and tough. This beast of the second order is simply amazing. He's very scary. As soon as we left the room, Yutong came up to me. "Come here." She started calling me. It's time for us to go to class. And exactly, I completely forgot about these lessons. So we took another girl with golden hair and all went to lessons together. After leaving the territory of the house, we turned further down the street, walking at a normal pace, not hurrying at all. Here I was interested in the situation with the ball and I decided to ask the master about it. "Master, I have a question here. Isn't signing a contract an easy task? And why is it that when it fails to conclude or some other problem arises, someone suffers?" The master immediately answered my question. "The problem is that the contract is always like this. In a normal situation, nothing will happen when signing a contract. But if during the process itself someone regrets the decision he made and forces him to terminate the contract, then the one who stops will get infected." So, if you think carefully about everything that the owner just told me, then you can understand that either Yutong or Ball rejected the contract, and as a result, Ball was injured as punishment for the termination of the contract. This situation has become clearer, but in any case I don't know that much. The question also arises why Ball would rather suffer than sign this contract with Yutong. Here you can think a lot and create a lot of theories, but you need more information. At the same moment, we see a company consisting of the guards, Vincent, his father and several of their assigned wolfhounds. They pass by a building and have a very tired, but quite emotional dialogue. Vincent's external condition leaves much to be desired. There are huge bruises of a bright purple color under his eyes, just like his father's. A whole night has passed, but they have not found any clues about the girl's escape and the theft of their treasury. They are clearly dejected by this. Yes, this simply cannot be. How did they just disappear like that? It's like they just disappeared into thin air. The father was clearly not prepared for such an incident, and even with the help of the wolfhounds, they could not find a single trace. It's just not possible. "I have a guess," Vincent says out loud. "I think they decided to escape from us while stealing the treasure from the very beginning. Therefore, they thought through everything and left no traces behind them. Otherwise it is impossible to explain it all." While they were talking about it all, one of the wolfhounds they took with them smelled some kind of scent and maybe it will turn out to be the trail they need. The wolfhound looked at one man who was a subordinate of these two people. The wolfhound picked up some kind of trail. Maybe it's a girl. As soon as the men standing a little apart heard this, they fell silent, following the wolf. And very close to this place was an ant with his good friends. The master felt something strange. Very hostile people are heading here, and it looks like those two people from the tower are among this group. "Zheng Lan," the master calls me. "A group of people is coming right here, and among them is that evil merchant. They're right behind you, get ready." "What? Why are they heading towards me? Damn it, what should I do?" A little more and I'll start to panic. I need to get rid of these two somehow. They will only get in the way if they stay around, and at the same time they will have even more questions than now. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, I need to come up with something. Ouch, how my stomach ached. It hurts a lot, I just can't. The girl was surprised by such a sharp change in the condition of her friend. "Wait a bit," she advised me. "We are already very close to the school, so you need to try a little and endure this pain." Looks like they believed me. So the next step: "I'm sorry, but I can't take it anymore. So you go first, and as soon as I feel better, I'll follow you right away. Maybe I'll go for medicine. So go ahead, and I won't keep you." At the same moment, some dogs turn into the same street, and they run and rush into the alley. It looks like they're looking for me by smell. Some company is running after them, in which I immediately saw Vincent and that merchant. As soon as they reached the dogs, they saw that they had stumbled into a dead end. "What? Why did the wolfhounds bring us here? There's no one here." But they pull themselves together. "Don't worry, the smell can come from the other side of the wall. It's best if we split up now and look for another way to go where the wolfhounds point." "That's right, Captain. We'll scour the area right now." Immediately, from the side, you can hear the swarming. The wolfhounds noticed this and turned in the direction where the sound was heard, when suddenly a piece of meat falls from somewhere above. The dogs immediately smelled him. Those wolves were interested in the meat I threw, but no more. "Those magical beasts down there are wolfhounds," the master explained to me. "They have an exceptional charm. Few people can compete with them in this aspect. They can easily smell objects within a mile radius. And as I can probably guess, there's a smell of Zuni on you right now. That's why they came to you. And I'm the council. You need to get rid of them, so that they don't track down either us or the base." I totally agree with you. If they continue to loiter around the school forbidden forest with such incredible charm, then our base and Zuni will be discovered. Then we need to eliminate them. Just need to figure out exactly how. We need to get close to them so that everything would go smoothly. So we're going down. So I jump off the roof. While I was flying down to the wolfhounds, I was coming up with a plan of action. We need to knock them out. And then you can imagine it all as meat poisoning. Well, or something else. I'll look at the situation. Since the wolfhounds were distracted by the smell of meat, they did not immediately sense that I was approaching them. So I managed to run into one of them and hit him on the head. So one of the enemies is out. Next, his friend immediately bumped into me, trying to bite while my back was turned to him. But it wasn't there. I saw him right away. So it won't work. So in general, how much you need to be a fool not to follow what's going on behind your back? Well, I'm not a fool. So I turned to face him and collect all my saliva. And while he was very close to me and managed to open his mouth for a bite, I spat into his mouth, thereby poisoning him. I'm sorry, but I don't have time to play with you, you understand? The poison has already gone through the body, so the wolfhound can no longer react to me in any particular way. So I don't waste time and swing and hit the enemy with all my might. And she flies up into the air. Sorry, maybe it was too much for you, but there was no other choice. The master suddenly speaks, warning me. Zheng Lan, hurry up, they're coming back here. You need to make everything sharper. I know the master and I'm doing everything as fast as I can. I think I'll manage before they arrive, so don't worry. And if something goes wrong, then you can fix it. I rely on you, master. During this dialogue, I take out one drug. But then I notice that only one wolfhound is still conscious. God. Wow. They didn't faint from my blows before, but look at this. Try to forget everything that happened now and today in principle. So accept all my insults and you will only need to be patient for a few days. And everything will be fine. It seems that my speech did not calm this wolfhound. It's like he's going to bury himself in the ground if I even go near him again. In the end, the last wolfhound managed to make his last sound, which was heard by everyone, including Vincent. So, terrified, they ran to the dead end where the animals were. What happened there? More precisely, one Vincent rushed there with all his legs, and the others slowly followed him. When they came to that place and saw the wolfhounds lying unconscious with their eyes rolled up next to the meat, some liquid was dripping from their noses and a huge amount of red pepper was stuffed into their nostrils. They just blacked out. You asked what happened when you heard a strange sound, so look. It's just awful. What's wrong with them? Who could have done this? I don't know. Someone strong enough. Vincent couldn't figure out how it all happened. So how did he manage to do it without a trace? Did he somehow manage to sneak past their scent and attack them, hiding in this secluded cul-de-sac when we were nowhere near? Then the most logical option. He escaped through the top, hiding on the roof. In the same way, he was able to escape, as we had not thought of it before. Without hesitation, the kid makes a jump, thereby jumping onto the roof, and the rest of the Pronto stand and look at it. But they pulled themselves together in time. So you too. A man in a robe addresses two people who are dressed in armor. Gather all the people who are with us and wait here. The guys immediately obeyed the man and ran after the others. By the time Vincent managed to climb to the roof of the houses, I managed to distance myself well, thereby buying myself some time. But he still managed to notice me. Oh, here he is. I found you. You won't be able to escape, I assure you. But I managed to get down from the roof into some alley and was left alone. But it won't be for long. Zheng Lan, says the master, drawing my attention. Be careful, someone is watching you. And it is very close. Yes, I know that, teacher, but what should I do if he could notice me? I need to blend in with the crowd somehow, so he probably won't notice me. In fact, he probably could only see you a little, since you were far enough away from you. Yes, the best option is hiding in the crowd. Don't forget to slow down. You can do it, I believe in you. By the time the ant managed to leave the alley, Vincent went down to the right place. This girl shouldn't have gone too far. I rode here fast enough. Since the dogs reacted to the ant, Vincent thought that Zhu Nyai herself had come here and it was for her that he was running. This is a mistake. But getting up and leaving the alley, he sees a huge crowd of people. There are too many people here. It's impossible, coming out of a dark alley. He realizes that this is impossible. How am I going to look for her if there are more people here than I can count? This situation did not like the kid very much and completely spoiled his mood. I won't do anything myself. It needs a lot more workers to search in this crowd. Then I have to meet everyone else and bring them here. I wasted my strength. Infection. And I was standing near the stall and eating with meat on a skewer. It was nice to look at his experiences from the outside. As I understand it, he didn't see me, so he doesn't even suspect me of it. So he just walked past me without even looking in my direction. Well, it's good that he didn't realize that I was me. But then I heard the master's voice. It's good that we escaped. But be careful, Zheng Lan. What you did to the wolfhounds will delay them for a few days, no more. So you didn't get rid of them completely. We definitely need to develop a plan for such sudden events. I assure you of that. If they only dare to come to my loved ones, I will show them my real strength. No one will survive then. And how long has it been? I should be at school by now. I'm so late. Damn, we have to run. The issue with the plan needs to be resolved exactly, but definitely not now. G54. After all, I managed to get to school on time. More precisely, I was late, but most importantly, I managed to get to the main part, and then I'll ask if I need to. And the director looks like a real gentleman in this shirt with a tie and a vest. It all fits him perfectly. In general, he stands in front of many students and tells something about their troubles and similar things. But somehow he got to the point. For the exam, all students will have an important qualification exam in a few weeks. This exam is traditionally held at our school. He's been talking about it for a long time and hasn't even raised an eyebrow. So he still tells everything with such a straight face. What a man. And he's very nice. He's just incredible. This is probably the only person who has the 5th order and the 9th level. He can't be that strong. Master, don't tell me that this man is a real master. This old man can't have that kind of power. Well, that's not quite true. The owner refuted my words. He is not considered a master yet, but in fact it is difficult to find someone who will be stronger than this man. He seems to be a serious opponent for us, so it looks like we'll have to take care of this old man if we decide to fight him. But okay, we'll see about that. While I was talking to my master, this man continued to explain something to the people sitting in front of him and unconditionally listening to him. The purpose of the contest is to determine how hardworking each of you is, and who is ready to really plunge into learning problems. Those who greatly distinguish themselves will receive a student trophy, but you have to try hard for him. I hope you understand me. I won't explain everything more than once. In short, I wish you all good luck in the upcoming competition. Try and then your reward will meet all your expectations. Your future depends only on you. That's all I could say. The meeting is over. Enter Zheng Lan. He turned to me. What? What for? Come to my office. The director really turned to me himself. It's horrible. So, when the meeting was over and everyone left, I went to the director's office, who invited me to the meeting himself. I'm still in shock. Director, why did you call me to your office? So at the same time, Miss Shen, I saw a familiar face. Why are you here too? Don't attack us so immediately. We called you for a simple reason. Miss Shen and I want to ask you a few questions. I won't delay. Last night, someone broke into the school's campus and stole an item that will be given to the winner of the competition. Oh, that's interesting. This item is a bottle of dragon blood. This is of course very terrible and I'm sorry for your loss and so on. But here one question arises. How does this relate to me? Their attention is not much flattered if I was called for such an occasion. But you were in the building that day. Everything is easy. We need to gather all the information about what happened that day. And only the 3 of us were at school that day. So you'll just have to tell me what you did at school and didn't you see something strange? This is of course very important. I answer her, looking at the director with a laugh. In response, he very nervously drinks from a mug, sweating all over. He needs to do something. Miss Shen, he calls the girl, drawing her attention to him. There's no need to worry about it. Zheng Lan stayed with me that day, so you can skip this moment and move on to what we are here for now. Good, the girl answered without hesitating. To put it more closely to the point, then we have some information about the kidnapper. That day we got into a fight with him, so I think he is a master of boxing of the 2nd order of the highest level. Now I will give you a photo of the robber that I drew myself. At this moment, she pulls out a folded piece of paper from under the folds of her clothes and hands it to me. God, the quality of this paper is just great. It's not even wrinkled. There's not a single crease. But the only question I have is why did she keep it in this particular place? Well, give it to me. Let's see if I know this person. The picture shows a man with long bangs reaching to the eyes. Only part of the face is visible because of the hood thrown up to the end, despite the fact that there are no very important parts in the drawing. But I still understood who is depicted. Excuse me, Miss Shen says in embarrassment. In the darkness of the night, I could only make out clothes and some small details. Regardless of whether it's a woman or a man, the main thing is that he ran away. Don't worry about it. I already understood what kind of person he is. I've met him before. Calmly I answered the people standing in front of me. Really? The director said in surprise. It's good that you know who you're talking about. Finally, we have at least some kind of clue. Overwhelmed with her feelings, the girl very loudly hit the table with her palms. So you were able to see his characteristic features, am I right? I thought about it. Characteristic features, you say? Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the same person. I'll draw you. I resolutely put down the sheet with the suspect drawn on it, took the pen out of the inkwell and finished drawing the necessary features. Okay, here. I drew it the way it looked. So I calmly handed the girl a piece of paper with a slightly corrected image. Bringing the outstretched piece of paper to Miss Shen's face, she immediately saw one of the many details that I drew, a very large breast. I'm sure this is a very important part of the study. So Miss Shen reads the written information from the text. The alleged suspect is a woman. Her bust size, level, career is also spelled out here. Thank you very much, that should be enough. Well, then I'll go to the mercenaries and report this news with a big price. So she turned around and went to the exit of the office in which we were together with the director. I carefully watched her leave. After she left for sure, I continued the conversation. I have one question for you, I said, turning completely towards the man. Why is Shen paying close attention to this thief? She cares too much about all this. The answer to the question is quite clear. Miss Shen was on duty that day, so according to the rules, she should take responsibility for what happened that day. And if she can't find that bottle of dragon blood before the competition starts, then Miss Shen will be fired. Of course, I could assign several people to help her. It might save her from being fired, but that's not for sure. Is he trying to push for pity? Since we're done, I can probably go. I need to get out of this conversation. I still have a job to do, so I don't have time to linger here. But then the director abruptly interrupted me with a long sigh. Unfortunately, we only have Miss Shen, who is able to fight, and if she leaves, the group of teachers of the magical state may not want the demonic creature to remain as their disciple. What is he hinting at? I will show this director what I am capable of for the sake of the people dear to me. As a disciple of Teacher Shen, even if she becomes my teacher for one day, I will remain her disciple forever. Just tell me what I can do for her. This guy forced me. He also looks at me with such a smirk. How infuriating. How glad I am that our school has such a good student like you, so I feel very proud and grateful for it. But then the director gives out something unexpected. Actually, before I called you to my office, I had already decided to buy a bottle of dragon blood in exchange for the one that was stolen. While I was thinking about what I said, the director slowly walked up to the window as if looking at something. But he turned to me half a turn and looked at me with a caustic grin. But according to marketers, dragon blood is extremely rare and expensive, so this idea can't work. I finished for him with obvious understanding. It's just not possible to do that. Damn, I hit the table with all my might with my fist out of frustration. Are there really no other options? That's just terrible. How so? This is very unfair. Then the only option we have is to find the kidnapper. But we have very little time, so we need to act right now, I said with wild eagerness to help my teacher. And the director just looked at my proposal with a laugh. Calm down, you. Miss Shen and I have enough for now. And I have another plan for you. He said this with a gentle smile. You will participate in that very contest, he says to me, turning abruptly to face me. Think for yourself. In fact, dragon's blood is a gift for a student, so we can use fake blood. So if you win, we'll just replace it later and no one will know about it. If I'm not mistaken, he continued, you have received the first order of the 4th level in a fairly short time, so I think your talent is not that weak, so you can become a rival for many students. But the director, I won't be able to participate. The competition is held for students of the 2nd and 3rd grades. I noticed, remembering the rules for the competition. In fact, most of the students were born into an ordinary family, and only a few of the summoned beasts they use haven't even reached the 1st level, even though their own level is 6 of the 1st order. You don't have to worry. I think I can handle those who are at about the 6th or 7th levels. But there is one catch. What should I do with those who are beyond the 7th level? Well, everything is easy here. You can act as a summoned beast for another person, so you will fight twice as hard with opponents. I'll listen to him. No, the plan is very working. But there is one but. Are you seriously going to expose me as a summoned beast? Are you serious? I was full of anger and resentment. Well, why not? You only need to sign a temporary contract, so you can choose the person yourself. It seems to me a good offer. It really annoys me that you put me in front of the fact. Okay, just give me a few seconds to think about all this. I need to solve this as quickly as possible and decide who will be my summoner. But that's not all. It would be too easy if there were no problems. Nevertheless, we still have one big problem. These are a few students in the 3rd grade. These are geniuses whose abilities are higher than most of their peers. The director spoke sternly. It's obvious he's not joking. So we are separately considering Mei Zairu. This time she is one of several of the geniuses who will compete and she will strive to win, or rather she is a potential winner. And in fact, the dragon's blood is being prepared for her summoned beast, the ice dragon horse. A very interesting combination of dragon horse, as cold as her dragon, constantly wears armor, practical but hard. Also, 2 other students with potential high grades are inferior to Yi Hechan, who owns the element of wood. Last year he took the 6th place, has beautiful blonde hair and a pleasant personality. And Zhu Feihang, a swordsman with a serious face, took 7th place last year. Remember these 3 young men. They are talented even among geniuses. The director began to explain to me with a serious face. Already last year they were able to reach the 6th level, and this year they have probably already reached the 2nd order. I can't cope with them. Of course there is a chance if I am alone with someone, but not a chance that I will succeed. Then what should I do? They will be impossible to defeat. But in response, the director says one thing. I'm not asking you to defeat them all. Let's just say it's my wish. In short, you have to hold out until the first round. This is your only goal during this contest, so you need to improve your own strength as quickly as possible. In words, it's easy as always. In these few days before the concert, devote yourself completely to preparing for competitions so you don't have to go to school. The man explained to me intelligently with a smile how I don't want all this farce. I want you to know, in my desires there is only hard study and nothing more. I hope you understand this. Yeah, oh, I hear the owner's voice. Agree to his offer. This is a chance for us to learn something new. And I was just afraid that you would be marking time. Understand that strong opponents are needed for your development. You can also gain experience in battles. Maybe you'll get some skills. Think about it, and only then make an informed decision. After standing for a while with a very serious face, I thought about everything. I decided to address myself to the man directly. Leave it all to me. I can handle it. The man was glad of my answer. It's beautiful, you're a very brave young man for your age. At this moment we find out that all this time Yutong followed the ant and waited for him under the director's office. She was very curious about the reason he was called. Hell, he's been there forever. What can be discussed for so long and why is it still not coming out? So before I go out, I'm going to check the plan again. He comes out of the office and we accidentally bump into him. The girl says out loud, smiling tenderly. And then he comes out of the director's office. Lingering in the doorway, they talk with the director. Well, a deal is a deal. The guy speaks to the man before completely leaving the room. Hooray, he finally came out. I've been waiting for him for a very long time. So, as soon as he gets closer here, I apply the plan. If everything goes on so smoothly, then he will be mine, I'm sure. Finally, she came out of the director's office. They probably discussed everything possible. While he was walking peacefully and thinking about everything, a girl he knew came out of the corner. Oh, it's Yutong. What an unexpected coincidence, says the girl out loud. And the weather is very good today. What kind of weather are you talking about? And hear the weather on the street. Speak plainly already. Stop marking time in the same place. You already have questions you want to ask me. So let's take a chance. I'm listening to you. At this, damn, he sees right through me. Damn right. I wanted to ask you something. This contest will take place in a few days, she said uncertainly, looking away somewhere to the side. Good, come on, there's no problem with that. And she asked me about it very timely, so I agreed to her proposal without even thinking about it. Well, that's what I'm telling you. What? Did you agree right away? She is very surprised by all this. I'm talking. I agree. I repeat, I'm a little louder to her. I'll be your magical beast for the duration of the competition, and then we'll destroy the contract. And you're just going to agree. It's kind of suspicious. A look of doubt crosses her face. He doesn't believe my words. What are you talking about, Yutong? It's time to be an actor for a while. I'm doing it quite sincerely. In a rush, I grab her hand and pull her towards me. Of course I will agree to your proposal. We're friends, and friends should help each other no matter what happens. She obviously did not expect such speeches from me after a cold attitude. That's why she's standing there, just staring at me and not knowing what to say. She blushed very much from my words. Is it really so? She told me, and the look became quite gentle. Yutong, let's fight together, so we will become the champions of this competition. I told her with a smile. Right now I am very determined in this. Do you want to become a champion? Good. It's probably a good goal. She seemed to want to tell me something else, but I interrupted her. But I will leave for a while before the competition because I have a lot to prepare, so I'm not coming back today. Oh, and be sure not to forget to warn Sister Lin Fei about this. Having finished this dialogue on a friendly note, we went our separate ways. Yutong remained standing in place and just stared at my back with a dreamy look. It looks like I stunned her. Hehe, now she should be grateful to me. I did her a huge favor that only a few would agree to. G56. I finally left the school building and walked down the street, not thinking about the direction at all. While I was going through several houses, I was thinking about my own, assuming that I might need to compete and how difficult it would be. Nevertheless, I decided to ask the teacher about our path, and to be more precise, where we are going now. Master, where are we going now? Do we have a certain place? Yes, the master answered me. Now we are heading to the forest of evil monsters. What? Why to this place? Are you sure? I asked with great doubt in my voice. A forest of evil monsters. This is a very dangerous place. When we get there, I don't even know what exactly we can expect there. But immediately the master responded to this with a small lecture. Yes, you are right. But this is the advantage of this place. It is very difficult there. And when you are there with the probability of dying, many of your own opportunities open up to you. This is also the best option since we have only a few days before this important competition. So the Forest of Evil Monsters is the best choice for us. I understand you well, Master. Approaching the exit from the city, I saw a huge number of people. A whole crowd. All people were tested for something that is very strange. I got in line. Why did they arrange such a sudden security check? It's very strange. As soon as it was my turn, I approached the man at the table. He has quite strange clothes, and what kind of hat is so strange? Well, I smiled sweetly, saying my reason for leaving the city, of course, correcting it a little. Uncle, hello, I want to go to the forest of evil monsters and visit my cousin. We haven't seen each other for a long time. And then suddenly something happened to him. I must definitely check on him. In response to this, he looked at me very strangely. It looks like he's insulting me in his thoughts. What the hell are evil monsters doing in this city too? Well, he seems to look normal and not aggressive at all. You can go now. He missed me very easily. Although with a certain hitch, it's good. The man who was questioning people stretched his face, clearly surprised by something. He was very surprised that the evil monster turns out to be able to speak, so at first he didn't even pay attention to it. But I decided not to worry about such a thing and calmly walked out of the city in the direction I needed. I left this fortress and walked through a semi-desert clearing, walked past a large tree and headed into a very dense forest. That's how I left the city and headed towards the forest of evil monsters. This forest is quite different from its own kind. Its atmosphere is very dark, but it may seem to me because of the shadow that lies on the whole forest like a blanket. Yes, even if compared with ordinary forests, I have never seen such huge trees. They are very thick and long, and their hat is so voluminous that it does not miss a single ray of sunlight. It all looks very atmospheric, but you need to be ready for anything. Monsters can attack me from anywhere. The same problem is that I don't know anything about the inhabitants here, so I don't even know what to expect from this place. And the ground here is very hard. There is stone almost everywhere. Walking slowly, I start a conversation. Something is moving under me, but I don't notice it at all. This is the first time I've been in this place. In fact, this forest of evil monsters is not much different from other forests. Yes, it seems very huge, but no more. I tell my impressions to the master. It's full of all sorts of evil monsters, so a person is forbidden to be in such a place. No one will come here except the army and various researchers who are in search of something new. But they are fools if they come here just for the sake of new impressions. So this is an ideal place where we will not be touched. And we can safely use all our strength here, training our skills. This is completely true. I agree with you. A real fight is the best way to develop abilities. While I was saying all this, I noticed a huge stone crab standing behind me, covered with moss and earth. I continued to tell the master something resolutely. But then who am I going to fight? There's no one here, and I haven't seen a single monster along the way. The crab begins to swing its claw. The teacher laughed at me a little. Your enemy is behind you. As soon as I turn around, I see this huge monster, and it almost grazed me with its claw. I thought I would have time to dodge, but I didn't have time for that anymore. So he hit me with all his might, and I jumped away somewhere to the side. So I fell with all my might and crashed into the root of a nearby tree. But the master is not at all confused by what is happening. This is a giant stone crab of the first order of the 6th level. He is a very good competitor to start with. Only you didn't notice how you stepped on it, so you didn't pay attention at all when it started to rise. This is very bad. You have to stay alert all the time, and suddenly the enemy will catch you by surprise. GRR. How infuriating it is. Master, couldn't you tell me about him not before the blow itself? You were calmly able to warn me, I said, brushing myself off from splinters, stone, and pieces of earth. Now I'm all beat up. This will be a lesson to you. You don't watch your surroundings at all. It's really like you're going to your home to visit your dear family. I realized my mistake. Now I'm a little embarrassed. So don't mock me. I realized what my problem was. It won't happen again now, I said, examining my new enemy. He is really very big, but does he have any weaknesses? But why is this giant stone crab so big? If I think about it for so long, it won't end well, so I need to act. Okay, I'm not up to it right now, so I need to attack. I move my foot to a more comfortable position to perform a jerk. I flex my muscles and take the first step. I rush to him with all my might. How dare you even attack me from behind? Haven't you been taught that this is a very mean trick? So you need to be taught a lesson. Taste my fist. Zheng Lan's first step in boxing. While I have less than a meter left from the enemy, I bring my hand to strike already using one skill. A piercing wind blows on the head of this stone crab. G57. But this blow did not give any result. We just stayed standing in one place as if the wave from my blow had never happened. He just got a little dusty. It turns out that he put his claw on defense, and he turns out to be able to think, and not take blows directly to the forehead. But how is this possible? He didn't even move, but just kept standing there. While I was thinking about it, O decided to counterattack me. A giant stone crab swung at me, but I managed to dodge without tripping over something either. I need to figure out how to beat him, since it looks like the element of wind does not work. Then something else is needed. Then we will improvise. Dodging, I carefully flew away from the enemy, quickly squatting down, quickly thinking about the approximate arsenal of my abilities. What the hell is the matter? I need to figure out how I can hurt him. Otherwise I will be so busy with him for a very long time and eventually I will get completely tired. Well, then let's try to use it on you. I collect my saliva in my mouth and shoot it at him. There is an option that it will work on him, but I'm not really sure. Saliva falls on the crab's claw, which he managed to cover himself with in time. And again there is not a single reaction to my attack. They don't seem to reach him. Here are all the claws intact. Damn, he managed to counterattack me again. A giant stone crab swings its heavy left claw, but I managed to dodge to the right, completely forgetting that he has another claw. He has never used it. And at that moment, the crab struck with all its might next to me with its right claw, but without having time to reach me because I was not close enough. He crushed all the stone that fell under his claw. And I could have been in that place. It's just terrible. I don't even want to imagine. I'm already starting to get exhausted. I need to finish this fight faster. I was close to autumn. What would happen to me if I completely screwed up? I'm getting nervous about this. Hey you. The master lying on his staff attracts my attention to himself. So what? Are you mad? And now you need to think carefully and decide which resources are best for you to use. And what do you even have that you can use? Yes, I've already figured that out. The plan to just beat him can't be involved. I can see by your posture and by your look that you are in great confusion right now. Deka will get ahead of you. How are these tricks that will be able to cope with people of the second order for some reason powerless in front of monsters that are only 2 levels higher than yours? Am I right? He said it with a sweet smile. He's egging me on rather than supporting me. Just take a better look at his appearance. His shell is harder than any stone, and 8 legs can safely dig into the ground. And his huge claws. He knows exactly how to use these claws, just like hammers. So if we look at him in more detail, then his pose resembles a heavily armed heavyweight knight, fully covered with equipment with necessarily heavy weapons and a shield. Usually such a monster takes 4 out of 5 people with the same levels to destroy. Damn, this clearly shows the disparity of powers and abilities between monsters and humans. Let's call it a legitimate monster position. Well, I look at him again with a suspicious look. Yes, I see it now. And for the sake of this analysis, I needed to miss a few hits from this stone crab, I say, taking off my already battered raincoat at the same time. Well, since it's just a battle based on physical strength, then I shouldn't get closer to him than I need. That's all, throwing away the removed cloak. Getting into a more confident pose, I continued to think. I do not know both the total magical and physical potential, since I haven't tested my strength since the recent gain. Perhaps this stone crab is equal to the limit of my strength, but that's not for sure. So we will check. During this reflection I came close to this stone and took it with clear determination. I'll definitely pick it up. I picked it up. But how heavy it is. But I still feel like I can lift heavier things. I need to hold out a little bit, and as soon as I get closer and make sure that I finish the stone, I'll throw it. Everything can be thrown. I clearly threw a stone right at the crab. My enemy definitely did not expect this. He managed to orient himself and even with his low mobility made a dash and dodged. He won't run away from me. An incredible bloodlust awoke in me. You really thought you could do it? I said, swinging another stone. And this time I hit it. He won't run away from me anymore. Haha. I hit him with a rock a few more times and maybe he lost consciousness, but that's not enough for me. So I swung at him again and said, if a punch to the face didn't kill you, then you need a supplement. I jerked to the side and lifted him into the air, spinning and hitting him. How about an uppercut? Do you like? I feel enough for him. So I threw him aside after finishing the battle and got into a fighting stance. And the crab fell and crashed into a tree and raised a huge amount of dust into the air, so you can't see anything. But I'm sure I'm done with it. After finishing that battle, I turned my body towards my teacher, flashing a happy smile. Well, am I good? Have you seen the master? I was able to defeat a giant stone crab that is 2 levels higher than me. Well, just think about it. You just touched me once. It's not a problem. The main thing is that I won. Well, praise me, I'm really good. Endlessly, I began to boast to the teacher. It was a very difficult battle, but I coped. I didn't even expect from myself. I was also on the verge of death. It was very close. He could have easily hit me and turned me into a stone crumb if I hadn't dodged. Yes, I was very surprised, the master said in his thoughts. This giant stone crab is stronger than many monsters of the second order. So I thought Zheng Lan would be easily defeated and then I could mock him. He always reacts sharply to my instigations and then I could have a lot of fun. But I did not expect this at all and he completely turned my mind with his victory. But what to do now the situation is getting worse? Is it my imagination or does the master look upset? Zheng Lan, I advise you to run now. Since the giant stone crab had just been injured, he turned to the monsters from his tribe for help. So they're going to rush here now, and we won't be able to leave. We need to run now. Damn, but it's too late to run. They have already managed to all come. This is very bad. We'll have to fight all of them again, and I just thought that I could rest. And here is such a setup. G58. God, this is terrible. I'm already tired of running from them. At this rate, we will probably be able to run around this forest with evil monsters. So, and at the same time, we will take other monsters. Don't chase me anymore, please. I promise I won't touch you anymore. I'll just leave your territory. Why don't you keep up with me? Master, please save me. I don't want to fight anymore. One of the crabs managed to get closest to me, so he managed to swing his claw and almost hit me. It's good that I saw it and managed to jump in time. Yes, leave me alone. Escape doesn't work anymore. They keep chasing me anyway. And I'm better at running with all my might. I am very tired. I need to hide somewhere for a while and recuperate. Otherwise they will catch me and I will perish. Also, the master does not respond. I hope he's doing well. While I was running, thinking about all this, I saw in the distance a very large tree with a thick trunk. I can hide on it. I need somewhere to take a break from them, and then I'm sure it won't be for long. But I'm still going to arrange at least a little respite. With such thoughts, I climbed up the tree. But one of the crabs managed to get too close to me. Yes, why did you catch me again? I shouted in frustration. Just a little more and I'll pay. I can't stand it anymore. This same crab tried to grab me by the tail while I was climbing up the trunk. He practically did it, but he lacks faster movements. My tail is also moving, but I managed to climb on a tree branch in time. I got to where they definitely won't reach, and I can finally rest. My legs are already falling off. Well, it's good that only the legs, and not something else. Well, you were a close stone crab. And which one of you almost grabbed me by the tail? You're also alike. I don't even know who to praise now. Okay, aside from the joke, I need to decide how I should get out of this situation. Also, another problem is that the master does not respond to my call in any way at all. And I don't feel it at all. Something needs to be done. If they catch me, I will definitely die. So I should go back to the base, since I don't see any point in staying in this forest any longer. Here I wanted to touch the stone on my head and use spatial magic. But suddenly the owner flew by and took it from me. He just flew by on his staff and took the stone, but how could he? Master, why did you take my stone? Then he turns to me with a grin in his eyes and says, very good news. The training has just begun, Daredevil. So why do you give up right away? And who told me that he would learn his strength in a real battle? I will return Wang Shulu to you only after the training is over. So good luck to you. Try to survive. Before that, you did it yourself, so I'll fly. And you survive with all your strength. The master told me, turning his back to me. And without even looking at me, he flew wherever his eyes looked. What should I do? The master just betrayed me. How could he do this to me? I just can't figure it out. I was a good student. I tried. And I didn't even take offense at his caustic jokes. He was very dear to me. And what has become of it now? He just flew away from me. And now I don't know what to do. Master, I started crying. Please come back. I don't want to go through this forest. A little more and I'll have a tantrum. While I was spreading my snot in tears, the hedgehog crabs managed to scratch half of the tree trunk. A few more movements and the tree I'm sitting on will just fall. And I'll get right into the claws of these animals. I don't want to look down. So you need to come to your senses and look at the situation with a sane mind. If it still continues, the tree will fall in a few minutes. I thought when I examined more carefully what was going on around. And now the only thing left for me is to climb up to the very crown of this tree. I said, looking above myself. It's not so difficult for me to reach the crown. There are even several branches that will help me with this. So stop. I have the best idea that I can implement at the moment. If I am very lucky, when the tree falls, I will be able to land on the grass and escape from there, while no one will have to see me. So, and now we climb to fulfill the conditions for this plan. So first I need to get to the top of the tree. I'm trying with all my remaining efforts to carefully reach the goal. Sometimes my hands can't stand it, but I climb again. Well, I did it. I climbed through the lush green crown of this tree and got to the very top. It looks like a lonely protruding branch, but she is strong enough to hold onto her and lean on her whole body. Now we have to wait for the tree to fall. The crabs had completely carved out the tree trunk, so that it tilted and began to slowly fall. And everyone was just watching it. While the tree was falling, I was thinking about the following actions. The main thing is that I need to fly calmly without clinging to anything with my body. Otherwise, I'll just get stuck somewhere between the trees. So now I detach myself from the branch and carefully jump towards the huge bushes. They will soften my fall. Well, now I'm on Earth. It remains only to find out if anyone has seen me. Only then can I leave safely. I can't take another chase anymore. So it seems like they left me behind. It's tedious to check everything again. And then suddenly, of course, something will go wrong. There's no one around. All I can do is go home, hooray. But then I noticed some swarming in the nearby bushes. What are they doing there? I can't understand. I can only hear them talking. Ruhui, I fell in love with you a long time ago. You have no idea how strong my feelings are. No need. Not here. What if someone sees you and me together? These are people of the second order of the 4th level. They are engaged in all sorts of obscenity. What a horror. You're such a bad boy. Someone saw all my body parts because of you. Is she naked? Damn. Who dared to interfere with my very important business? Damn, they noticed me. God, I just saw something very nasty. How can I restrain myself and not throw up? I need to get out of here faster. You guys keep going, I said to the animals, making a fool of himself. I will not interfere with you in any way. Don't pay any attention to me at all. I'm leaving here right now. A man of the second order of the 4th level picked up a huge spiked baton and began to threaten me. A little more and he will attack me. How dare you run away after you saw my Ruhui's body? I will kill you and then I will be calm. No, I don't want to die. Yes, who cares about your beloved's body at all? It's definitely not me. I shouted to him, running out of the bushes. But then I accidentally stepped on something solid, but quite alive. It's moving. I turned around to see what I had stepped on, and I saw a huge body twice as big as me. A big mane. It turned out to be the tail of a male lion of the 3rd level of the 2nd category. What the hell? I'm trying to get out of here, and I'm getting into even more trouble. God, it's scary. I'm going to cry. I'm on the verge. I can't do everything anymore. Everyone has already driven me. First the owner, then the crabs, the monster, and now the lion. I'm so sick of everything. Well, don't run away. Who I'm talking to? A subhuman is shouting at me, and in response to him, a lion roars. Don't chase me. Just leave me alone, everyone. I'm just tired of running around with all of you. I shout, taking my feet away from this place. And because of this, the crabs heard me, who had recently calmed down and left me behind. So I decided to see who was running after me because the trampling behind me was just deafening. Glancing over my shoulder, I noticed that subhuman, a lion, and a huge number of stone crabs. Only now there are even more crabs. Yes, why is everything exactly like that? I shouted out of complete indignation. Why, there are more and more of them. Master, I try to shout to my teacher, tearing off the last bundles. Master, save me, I beg you. Have mercy on me from this chaos. I'm begging you. And the master is sitting in shock on his staff, not even knowing what to do. It is simply impossible to look at it. But when you do look, you don't know what you feel. It's either complete indignation or laughter in the shower. But he had to get into such a mess that half of the forest is running after him now. It's just unbelievable. The master sighs loudly, exhaling her lungs to just calm down. How could he have gotten himself into such huge trouble? So that's putting it mildly. And do the same. Still wait until something interesting has happened or really save him. Hey, it's time to save him. I can't leave him like this. The master finally decided.